All I did was walk away from the oven for a couple of minutes with it on broil, and this is how it ended up. I tried to cover it up with some grated Parmesan, but y'all, But when I said that burnt cheese was hitting, so I used ground turkey instead of ground beef, and I put a little bit of grapeseed oil and some butter in the pan, and I went ahead and I added my ground turkey so it could get brown. And these are different seasons that I added to my meat. I added some onion powder, garlic powder, some adobo, some Tony's, some complete seasoning. I really didn't put that much sea salt, a little bit of black pepper, some cayenne, and some Italian seasoning. When you seasoning your meat, you want to try to taste it. Like when it get brown, taste it before you put a lot in it so it don't get too salty. And you can use whatever seasonings you like. I chopped up some mixed bell peppers and some onions and I added it to my meat. This is optional. If you don't really like bell pepper, you don't have to put it on your meat, but I like mixed bell peppers and onions in my ground turkey or ground beef. And I added some Knorr's chicken bouillon to my pasta water and a little bit of sea salt as well. When my meat got brown, I went ahead and I added some of that minced garlic paste to it. And you can add whatever pasta sauce you like. I had Pergo Traditional, so that's what I used. But you can use ragu. You can make your own pasta sauce. So go ahead and do what you like. And of course, I add sugar to my pasta sauce. It kills the acidity. You have to add a little bit of sugar to kill the acidity in your pasta sauce. That's a must. And you also have to adjust the seasoning to your pasta sauce. You add whatever you want to it, whatever you think is missing. I added a little bit of Knorr's chicken bouillon. I added a little bit more complete. You know, certain little things. I didn't add no salt though. Not really no salt. I don't like salty food. And all the seasonings I was using already had salt in it. So I really didn't need much salt. But you taste your food. You have to taste your food to make sure it's good. And then I went ahead and I added my pasta to my boiling pasta water. If you're on a budget, always get the store-bought butter if you want real butter. You don't want to use Martian. But I went ahead and I added my butter and my Kerrygold garlic and herb butter, and I added some minced garlic, and I went ahead and I let that cook down a little bit. And another tip is, if you on a budget, you could go ahead and use half and half. You don't have to use heavy cream in some dishes. Some things, like if you're doing whipped cream and stuff, you need heavy cream. But sometimes you could just use half and half or evaporated milk and it'll come out just fine. And these are different cheeses I used. I love that Better Goods cheese. And I put a little bit of cream cheese, yep. And it was kind of thick right here, so I did add a little bit more half and half to it. But y'all see me mixing it up. It came out so good, y'all. And when you're making your Alfredo sauce, it's best to use a non-skillet pan because you see how easily it's coming out. Yup. So use you a non-skillet pan so everything can come out and nothing get burnt to the bottom or nothing. And then you go ahead and mix up your pasta with your Alfredo sauce. If you like yours more wet, you'll probably need a little bit more Alfredo sauce, which I should have made a little bit more, but it still came out fine. One thing about it, I'm always watching my girl Trika, Table for Two podcast. Y'all need to check her out on TikTok and on YouTube, Table for Two podcast. But you gonna go ahead and add your meat sauce to your pasta and spread it out evenly. Another thing I realized was I should have made a little bit more pasta sauce. Like, I don't know. I should have made a little bit more meat pasta. What you call it? Meat sauce. I should have made more meat sauce. A little bit more. But it still came out good. Then you're going to go ahead and add however much cheese your little heart desires. I like a lot of cheese on top of my stuff, so I added a whole bunch of cheese on it. I always add a lot of cheese to my baked macaroni, my baked spaghetti, or whatever baked pasta dish that I'm making. So I added some of that Italian cheese, and I'm finna add some of that Better Goods cheese. And I think I added a little bit of Parmesan. And then I sprinkled some dry parsley on top to make it look pretty. But y'all know that didn't happen. This is where I should have just took it out the oven. And on the side, I made some garlic knots in the air fryer. Y'all, I wish I was recording myself when I was taking this out the oven. Y'all would have been dying laughing. I was scrambling trying to take this out. Oh my gosh. But you do want to bake yours at 350 degrees for maybe like 15, 20 minutes. No more than 20 minutes because it's going to get a little bit of dry. But the burnt cheese was hitting. I'm not even going to lie. That looked too good. I'm definitely making this again. It was fire. Sometimes TikTok be lying, but they was not lying about this. This was a 15 out of 10.